one. Bing, and we're live. It's Simon Pavel in EuroAsia Scrum, and yeah, Pavel. So you were just rather than asking how things are, I hope things are well with you. You were just saying yes. So we had there was one guy who was asking about on the email about he had sort of a project that he wanted to maybe bring to Agile Ventures. Yeah.
Yes, about a project which he wants to bring. It's you can open the site 3000acres.org.
Ah, okay. Yes.
So to understand, because I think it's quite similar to our local support project.
Right.
Acres, not hackers.
3,000
acres for gardening. Yeah.
Okay. Right.
Yeah, this is website was created for Melbourne community about creating gardens, and it's kind of non-commercial organization too. And this guy, he's from Sydney, and he wants to create the copy of website for Sydney. And what's interesting that this site is open source project, and it is based on Rails, so we can fork this repo and create that copy with some different things. Also, what I've discovered that this website was developed by one of our members of our community.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but she hasn't any activity in our community. She joined 1 month ago. She's logging. Nick is Scud.
Okay.
Scud. Yeah, and she's the main contributor to this website, 3000 acres. So I sent her a letter about maybe he wants to bring this site to our community too, to develop and maintain.
Yeah, yeah.
I haven't received an answer yet.
Yeah, you said his. I did see the emails. You said his name was Harry.
Yes, Harry.
I'm just searching through my thing. I'm not.
Harry Waterman. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I did see this, and I also saw that you and Thomas had replied. Yeah. I'm now trying to find the email.
It was 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Good morning, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, hey Thomas. Hey Thomas. Yeah, we're just talking about that guy who emailed.
Yes. Both me and Pavel replied to him.
Indeed.
Did you hear anything from him, Pavel?
Yes. I have a discussion with him about this website, and he said that he wants to create a copy of this website, 3000 acres. It's for Melbourne, and he wants to create a copy for Sydney with his own content, of course, and so on. And I found this website quite interesting because it's very similar to our local support, and it has many features to be done. And this website was created as an open source project on Ruby on Rails 4, and which was interested. It is created by one of our members of Agile Ventures.
Oh yeah.
Yes, but she hasn't any activity in our
community. No, sure.
Oh, right. Who was it?
Scud.
What was her name?
Scud. S-K-U-D.
Oh, here we go. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So obviously she knows about. But so this guy. So I've got the email here from Harry. Yeah. And so it's Harry Quarterman. He hasn't been involved in the coding of this 3,000 acres. He just saw this and he says, "Oh yeah, I want to do something like that, but for Sydney." So he doesn't know this person's good necessarily, but he somehow is connecting this with us, or just heard about us, or anything. Okay.
I don't know. I've discussed with him. He said that he asked them for help. He is in touch with founders of 3000 acres.
Right.
But they cannot help him because they do not have the resources to do.
They don't have the resources, right? So Scud is the person here. But okay, and so and they've obviously got their own. And they've been doing their thing, and excellent.
Yeah, she also has many other projects. So I think that this project may be very interesting to us. So I will proceed discussion with him, and I think we can take this kind of project. The interesting thing here that, for example, we have one platform, 3,000 acres, 2,000 acres, doesn't matter, for different cities, and maybe we can create like the common platform, and everyone can make their own content on this platform based. for different. I don't know, but it's like an idea.
Yeah. No. I mean, it
Things,
sounds absolutely great. I mean, I guess so you say that you've had a discussion with him. You've had a discussion with him on email, or you got him in a hangout, or how did you?
He just replied me on emailed me. Yeah.
Okay, so you've had a few more things, but so I mean,
Yes.
I would have thought that the way forward would be to create, like, if he wants to do something that's, is to create a project on here. I mean, I guess that only thing is that maybe we should also, I mean, what I would suggest is that any email that you have with people about projects is if you CC Thomas and myself, and in this one with Harry, I would CC this person, Scott, as well, and say we'd love to provide you space on Agile Ventures for extra support for that.
Yeah, we can do it. First of all, I just want to ask that Scoot. I've written a letter to her about maybe she wants to be like a leader of the project.
Absolutely. Yeah, no. So if you've already contacted her, that's great. What I'd certainly encourage you to do, it sounds like you've had these emails individually with Harry and Scoot. I'd encourage you to CC us, because that means that as soon as they reply, if they do reply all, as people often do, then that keeps Thomas and I in the loop, and we can make sure.
Yeah, I know. When I post you into copy, she for some reasons deleted that. And
well, some people just have tendency they hit individual reply. Yeah. That's fine. It's not a big deal. But obviously you've sent a separate email to Scud, but I don't think you CC'd that to me.
Oh.
But anyway, but still, no, thank you for coming in. I think this is excellent. Yes, I love it. And it has my 100%. 110% enthusiastic support. So definitely, yeah.
I second that as well, of course.
Yeah, but Pavel, is there anything that you need me to do, or any way that I can help?
I do not think for now. Just need your improvement that we want to have that kind of project.
Oh, absolutely.
I think that's enough now.
Yeah. Great.
I would say that the next step should be to get him into a Scrum or a Hangout where we can discuss this with him. Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I think particularly great to have Australia people, because I'm busy getting up at this early for this early Scrum, and this is, I presume, like Australia people might. This is the EuroAsia one that Australia people can maybe make. Anyway, anything else to report, Pavel?
Well, yesterday we had a big discussion on also a project. We had a sprint planning meeting and planned our 4th sprint. We also opened to public our Jira board, so you can look at it.
Great. Good news.
Well, what else? I don't know. Well, one of our team members, Sam, secured a new job.
We did. Yes. I think with Amazon, in fact.
With Amazon,
yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah. That's it for me. For evening, I want to perform America Scrum, and that's it. Also, yesterday, our last 2 teaching assistants voted on the stories, on Osra stories.
Great.
On different Scrums, America Scrums, and on Osra Scrum. Yeah. That's it.
All right. Thank you, Pavel. So going on to Thomas. How are things with you, Thomas?
Just fine. Thank you. I was busy. My first day at work yesterday. Interesting. I was getting acquainted with a new code base, and I will be in charge of a payment gateway that the company I work for is developing. For now, I'm working on a client project. We're gonna have a delivery next week, and after that, I'm switching focus to our own product. That is I'm working on a payment gateway, but as a client project. And after the next week, I will be working on our own payment gateway for credit cards.
Right.
So that's interesting. A lot of new things to learn. I was working with upgrading the code base to RSpec 3. So that was interesting. And after that, I was pairing with Sasha on our statistics story. And this morning, I finished off a method to populate the users model with the country codes, because the faker gem that we use to create fake data does not provide country codes, the only country names. So I created a custom method for that. Pushed it up to my repository. Today I will be again working on my client projects, but I will be available to pair with Sasha. I promised him at least 45 minutes midday around the Euro Scrum. Yes, and in terms of blockage, not much. I can't think of anything. So I guess nothing's blocking me.
Great. Okay. Thank you, Thomas. Excellent. And I guess for the payment gateway, I've been very excited about Stripe as a payment gateway recently, but maybe you guys are using something completely different.
Yes, well, the company I work for are developing their own.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Oh, interesting. All right. Great. And Craig is here as well. Craig, how are things with you?
Very well, thank you.
Excellent. Yes. And anything fun going on?
I'm not sure I've got much more to tell you. Pavel's
told you.
Yeah. So, but yeah, all good. We had our planning meeting yesterday. We've had a couple of people. We had one person come in and vote in the America Scrum, and another person come in and vote in yesterday's meeting.
Yes.
And yeah, it's just making sense of that and making a plan. I'm not around at all today. I'm working all day today, so I won't get a chance to do anything till this evening anyway. Sure.
But no, great to hear that there were some people coming in and being able to join in, vote on Osra stories and so on. I'm want to make sure that Agile Ventures is supplying things of value to Osra. Good show. Okay, I guess that leaves me. So I am. I'm nominated for this award for the local support thing, so I've got to go out to that tonight. Fingers crossed I win the award, and then maybe that's nice publicity for Agile Ventures and the local support. The AV102 week 4 needs to go out today, and I guess that's it. I mean, things also on my mind are, it's now a week before the MOOC goes out. There's a lot of things to prepare. There's what was the other thing? I'm thinking back to our retrospective where we're talking about the goals for Agile Ventures, and we sort of need to get those goals more into the high level. I mean, I'm sort of pleased to get, if we go back to here, we've got this lovely thing from Viv about her, your position. I'm asked for Mosem and Thomas and everybody else who's got an Agile Ventures job to kind of supply one of these. But I think we also want to get, somewhere into our 4 circles, more about the goals. I think particularly, that we want to have as much pairing as possible. I mean, as many parallel sessions going, and as many healthy projects. And it makes me, particularly Pavel being here, reminds me that I get, I always feel like I've got a sort of a sense of how much activity is going on in Agile Ventures through the scrums that I run. But it would ultimately, in the long run, it would be lovely to have, how much activity, how much pairing and scrum activity is going on, and the numbers of people involved. So that we could be kind of assessing the different initiatives that we take, whether that's really having an impact on those things. But yeah, I think that's it from me. Anything else we need to discuss? I think we're at the edge of the Scrum. Any other business?
Not from me.
No. Okay. Great to catch up with you all, guys. I'll see maybe some of you in the Atlantic Scrum, and there we go. Yes, I hope some of these AV102 people will stick around. I think as everybody gets jobs and things, and there's lots of people who could potentially run scrums. That what we want to do is make sure that we're supporting lots of people getting into pairing sessions. But we'll see. All right.
I think just talking about that, I mean, the difference between someone running a scrum and the difference between say Pavel running our scrum and the expertise that he brings. But we're very good at training developers up. But I think we're missing an opportunity not getting new people in who want to be scrum masters, tapping into Pavel's expertise. I mean, if someone followed Pavel around doing the scrum sessions and whatnot for several weeks, and then went off and ran their own project as a scrum master and had someone to tap into and ask questions of, I think that could be a great resource.
Yeah, well, that sounds excellent, actually. I mean, maybe what that means is we need kind of like so we've got kind of 2 tracks in the AV102. One is for teaching assistants. One is for project being a project dev. We could have a Scrum Master track, couldn't we?
I think that would be a great idea.
Specifically focused on that. I mean, what I would really love to do is get everybody enabled with the tools so that they can kind of take over the AV102 and turn it into the kind of training tool that Agile Ventures needs, rather than anything limited by my personal vision. But yeah, excellent suggestion, Craig. Yeah, good stuff. I mean, yeah, Pavel is a fantastic resource for the community. Can't say that enough. I also wanted to say, as well as to Thomas, thanks again, Thomas, for all of the work on the Agile Ventures site and so on. You were saying the other day, like, oh, this seems like a nice community that's created partly through your efforts. And I think at the time I just said thank you, but I want to say, Thomas, thank you for all of the things of making it become what it is now, and to Pavel and Craig and everybody. I mean, it's basically it's all about what you guys are putting into it is making it what it is.
You make me blush.
Well,
Sam, I want one thing more to discuss if you have like.
I have maybe 2 minutes. Yeah.
2 minutes. I've discussed with Yaro about his idea to create Hangout on Air as a separate project with also playing poker and other stuff.
Yeah.
And I strongly in favor of this idea because I think we need to have something with fast development in these Hangouts features, different features, and maybe we allow him to create this project.
Well, I guess I would say that he should certainly be allowed to create that project. I'm also strongly in favor of doing it, but I think that the ultimate thing is whether Thomas decides to use that in whether Thomas decides to use that particular thing in the website one is ultimately a decision for Thomas to make. But so I would strongly encourage Yaro to do that. We may well end up using that particular thing in Makers Academy, even if Thomas were to decide that he might not, want to go in exactly the direction that Yaro was going in, if you know what I mean. Does that make sense?
Well, yes, but the thing is, when I create these Hangouts, for example, I want to use that feature that was created by him, right? Because in this case, it would be strange to have two different features.
Well, no, I think you could. I mean, the ultimate thing is that I agree with that. I don't think that means that necessarily Thomas has to use Yaro's repo. I mean, he may choose to do that, in which case that's fine. But if Yaro could develop an experimental feature on, Hangouts on Air that you like, for example, and also I like, and I'm using it in Makers Academy, and I love it. And you and I are both saying, Thomas, we'd love to have this. Again, ultimately, for Thomas, who's kind of like the bottom line, he's got to secure and make sure that he's got the ultimate responsibility for making sure the website one works. He can then, whether he uses Yaro's latest repo or a release from it, or he uses a fork.
Can we create this repo like production repo and, for example, new features repo? And
absolutely.
There is already a project for that, and I would. I mean, if Yaro chooses to work on that, I as Sam says, I strongly encourage that. But whether we are going to be in a client position from website one to be in a client position to use that's a completely different story. And I would like you to remember that. I mean, to think about that again, as Sam says, I'm responsible for this project on all levels, both technical levels and project management level, and so that decision is not only a technical one, but rather but also a decision of being able to work together and collaborate. And I asked Yaro for some time to consider this. I haven't reached a conclusion yet, whether I want to do that or not. But it doesn't. I mean, my decision doesn't have to do anything with him developing those features and working on that. I think there are many uses for this kind of features in projects other than the website one.
Yeah, and I think on top of that, I would add sort of like if Yaro is doing that, Thomas, as I think you forked. Obviously, we're using a version of Yaro's thing in the system, and you fork that. If Yaro develops more on his particular version, and then Thomas wants to pull those things in, then he can do that. So at the moment, even if, as Thomas said, even if Thomas hasn't decided whether to commit to using a particular version of Yaro's thing, I don't think that should stop Yaro starting the project. Do you know what I mean, Pavel?
Yeah, I know. I'm just trying to understand how website one, this service that he created, would be for using, for example, as website one users.
Mm-hmm.
That's my point. I cannot understand how it works together.
But it doesn't have to do anything with the technical side at all. So it's. I mean, it's again, it's a matter of in this case, it's a matter of project management and in what way we collaborate with each other. So that's the only thing, and that's one thing. The other thing is partially technical, and that's I have a different idea about managing those things than we from what we have been doing up until now. And I think Thomas, you've got this thing about creating rather than having the creation of the database objects driven by the connection coming in from the external Hangouts, but creating those first, and then there's a slightly different model. But and also Slack notifications. Since we have problems with notifying Slack from those Hangouts, we can do it on an earlier stage.
Indeed. Anyway, so Thomas, I guess, but Pavel, you're saying you're unclear about how it would work if Yarrow developed this thing, whether Website 1 would use it or not. Is that what's unclear for you at the moment?
Yes, for example, if this connection service doesn't work, I want to understand who I should ask about it, Thomas or Yarrow.
Thomas. If it's a Website 1, it's me then.
I mean, it's Thomas. I mean, that doesn't mean that Yarrow can't help, and Yarrow has been, now that we have a private channel, extremely helpful in dealing with various issues recently. And personally, I look forward to ongoing, excellent collaboration with Yarrow. At the end of I mean, Thomas, at the moment though, we're still using Yarrow's thing. We haven't.
Yes, we are in production. We are. Yes,
we haven't switched to your fork.
No.
So, I mean, I guess in the ideal world, of course, Thomas and Yarrow will be able to come together, and Thomas's ideas and Yarrow's ideas would be able to develop to produce, the ultimate master super thing. But as we know, there has been some trouble with them collaborating in the past. So, but yeah, I mean, I think we. Yeah, at the end of it, if the question for you, Pavel, is like who you should come to, ultimately for Website 1 things, it would need to be Thomas. I mean, it would be the same for. I mean, Yarrow you can think of Yarrow's thing as like a gem. I mean, there's the Ice Cube gem, which obviously people who have expertise on the Ice Cube gem, more than Thomas. And Ice Cube's being used in Website 1, so that's a valuable resource. But so for Thomas as a project manager, he may choose to use different versions of the Ice Cube gem, or not use the Ice Cube gem, or it's the same thing, right? Do you know what I'm saying, Pavel?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Well, I hope that I don't know. I mean, I'm sure that it would be more encouraging for Yarrow if we said yes, let's do this, and we'll rely on you, and we'll always use your latest thing or whatever. I hope that Thomas's reticence or still wanting to think about it doesn't disincline him from developing the ideas that he wants, because I'm very excited about some of the ideas that Yarrow's talked about, and I think he may find many clients as well as Website 1 who want to use them. So.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Well, I've really got to go now. So anyway, good discussion, and I guess it'll be another week before we have a group adventure meeting, but I hope to see you all soon. Anyway.
Take care, guys.
All right. Bye for now.
All right. Thank you very much. Bye bye. So long.
Bye, guys.